to Wednesday, 7 p.m. live. I'm Tara, and you are watching A Courageously Living live. Wednesday night lives, we kind of go wherever you guys want to go. Sometimes I usually will have topics. Tonight I didn't. My energy today has been kind of all over the board too, so I wasn't even 100% sure I was going to go live tonight. But I really wanted to check in with you, see how you're doing. There has been a lot of worldwide chaos right now, and there's also been a lot of personal chaos. I know in my own life, and pretty much everybody I've talked to, people have family issues, job issues, financial issues, pretty much everything across the board. People are dealing with a lot of intensity. And then when we add the intensity of all the global issues and the political discord and everything, it's a lot to deal with. Hello, welcome. Let me know where you're from. And so, yeah, I just want to kind of check in, see where you guys are feeling. There's a lot happening in our world right now, and most of the astrologers and psychics have predicted that this was going to be a time of kind of upheaval and a time of chaos. And for me personally, that makes it feel a little better, like, oh, okay, this was anticipated. This isn't going to last forever, but it is going to be rough getting through it. And, you know, when things happen in our personal lives, they can kind of feel like they're never ending. When we've got a lot of stuff going on, with governments across the world, they can feel like they're never ending. And we will have change. We will have something different after all of this upheaval worldwide. But right now, unfortunately, we're in it. We are definitely in it. So welcome. Hello, everyone. Tell me where you're from. Hello. Welcome. So what is something concerning for you guys? Is it, more of the political stuff? Is it stuff going on in your personal life? Hello, welcome. Excellent. Where are you all from? Because when we have chaos, it's really hard to kind of get our footing and get our grounding. And it is that inner strength that we have to tap into when we have all of this upheaval, all of this chaos in the world. Hello, welcome. Excellent. So what's on your minds tonight? Like, where do you kind of want this conversation to go? Remember, I always want to be respectful. I have a very broad range of people who listen to my channel, but we can kind of dive into, some family issues, some political issues. Like, where do you want to go with getting a reframe, getting your feet back on the ground a little bit during all of this chaos? Because when we feel like we're not grounded, we can kind of get swept away in all of the news media, all of the negative headlines coming at us. And remember, with headlines, they are designed to evoke emotion from us, typically anger, rage, fear, frustration. That is what those headlines and news stories are designed to do. Which, when we're already knowing there's a lot of chaos, or already knowing there's a lot of upheaval, that can just make it worse and kind of spiral us more negative. So, one of the things that you can do is limit your notifications on your phone. Are you still getting news notifications on your phone? If you are, turn those off. Are you, kind of doom scrolling? Pay attention to what you're doing, because that's affecting your energy as well. And the thing with like negative headlines and all of that stuff is it's designed to kind of keep you hooked, and it's also designed to keep you in that fear state, keep you in that panicked state. So when we take that break from the news cycles, it helps us kind of reset. And if you are going through something major in your life, if you are, especially if you've got a health issue, or if you've got a family member that has a health issue, or you're dealing with a breakup, anything like that, that's already a lot for you to deal with. If you can just avoid the news, avoid media, and focus on what is happening in your life, that is what is requiring your attention. And that's what is going to help you kind of get out of the kind of the spiral that you kind of find yourself in, is if you can limit your focus to kind of what's immediately in front of you. And if you're not going through a crisis, still take that break from media. Maybe you set a timer on your phone on how long you're going to look at headlines, or read news articles, or listen to news articles. Being in nature the best you can. Maybe that's watching a nature video if you can't get outside. Maybe that is taking a walk, or just sitting outside in nature. Nature has a very healing presence. And when we can appreciate it and tap into it, it can help calm our nervous system down, because right now our nervous system is pretty much on overwhelm for everybody. So do those small things to help your nervous system kind of regulate. All right. So I wanted to pull some cards tonight for us. Like I said, it's gonna probably be a quick live, because my own energy has been kind of all over the board. There we go. Now I'm back. There we go. Now I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. I froze. All right. So, although it's kind of a good metaphor of freezing for a little bit and kind of taking stock, pausing, seeing kind of like where you should be putting a little bit of energy and a little bit of focus. So this deck that I just have right here is just the major arcana, and it is also associated with the astrology. So we have the Magician, which is Mercury's energy. What are you creating right now? Even in the midst of chaos, where your focus is, where your ability to say, yeah, this isn't working, I want something new, that is the Magician for you. And with Mercury, you might be thinking it, you might be just journaling it right now. That's okay. Just kind of start to think about where you want to go as we move through the chaos. Because once we kind of get our footing again a little bit, we want to be able to create where we want to go. So journaling is a great way to do that right now. Maybe you're musical and you want to, write some lyrics right now. You can do that. The other card that I pulled is the Star. And it's Aquarius energy. And we've got Pluto stationing direct. He's kind of he looks like he's at a standstill right now, but he is in Aquarius. He's going to be an Aquarius for the next 20 years. And so we have the opportunity to see where the destruction is and the upheaval in our own personal lives and say, oh, now that we've kind of gone through this little bit of period that Pluto was retrograde and that was kind of turned inward, where are we starting to look for the hope, the faith, the joy again in our own lives? And that's really kind of what the star represents, is that hope and love and beauty and everything that pretty much everybody wants, and it's really sometimes hard to obtain. So allow yourself to start kind of creating where you want a little bit more peace in your life. Where do you want some more love in your life, or joy, or happiness? And knowing that that can come into your life as well. And so, sometimes we think like, oh, well, I just want to be happy tomorrow. But if we've been in a spot that we've been depleted, been depleted for months or even years, it's going to take a while to rebuild happiness and joy into your life. Excuse me. And we want that instantaneous, oh, we want to be happy now. But if we've been in that place where we have been depleted, it's going to take some time to kind of rebuild that muscle. And so maybe it is you happen to see a sunset that's beautiful and you smile. And that is your happiness and joy for the day. Take it as a win. Maybe the next day that you actually talk to somebody that you really enjoy communicating with, that's your piece of happiness for the day. Take that as a win. And know that you're slowly starting to rebuild that muscle and that energy of bringing more happiness and joy into your life. I've had been doing caregiving for my parents for the last 4 years, and I am still depleted, and I've gotten a lot better, but that takes a lot of energy. And so it's also that process of allowing that little bit more happiness, that little bit more joy into my daily life. I couldn't just kind of bounce back from where I was before I started with caregiving to not. So give yourself that grace of allowing that muscle to build. And we have had a lot of chaos worldwide, and we still are in the midst of chaos. And so we're probably not going to be joyful 24/7. There's too much going on. There's too many things breaking down. But what we can do is we can find those moments of that little bit of happiness, that little bit of joy. Because what happens is that starts to build, and that starts to be your reset. Oh, and there's the pup. She says hi. And so we've got the Star and Magician, and let's pull a card from the Wisdom of Trees Oracle and see what else can we put with that. Tranquility. Where are you finding a little bit of peace? And again, it doesn't have to mean that you're peaceful all day long. Maybe it is that you've taken that extra minute in the shower. Maybe it is you've taken that little bit longer road home so that you can actually kind of just calm down before you actually go into your family situation. Where are you finding those little moments of tranquility? That's what's important for you to try to connect with. Again, don't try to say, oh, I'm gonna, go on a silent retreat for 4 days. If you've, been running and running and running, that might be too much. Maybe not. Maybe you can do it, especially if you've done it before. But most people, especially when we're trying to be a little bit more peaceful, it's those little tiny moments during the day. Maybe it's going to a favorite store and just finding a section that's peaceful to you. I work in a garden center and we have Christmas trees up already. I know, weird. But that's a very peaceful kind of section of the store. Where can you find those little peaceful moments during your day? Maybe it's just having a cup of tea without looking at your phone, or having a cup of coffee without looking at your phone. Maybe it's just taking that cup of coffee and sitting outside and just looking at nature. That can be a peaceful moment for you. And that's also where the star comes in. And you are actually creating those little bits of moments that are peaceful for you. All right. If nobody has any other questions, I believe that is going to be our live tonight. Like I said, I know my energy has been kind of up and down all day today. If you check out Consciously Erin, she does a great job of tracking the Schumann's resonance, which kind of shows like where we've got big energy or in big release. And we've just had a bunch of both. And so that also kind of plays into our energy. We're also in a full moon energy. So full moons are about release. So there's a lot of things going on that is releasing right now. So with that, I hope you all are doing well. Give yourself a self-hug. Self-hug. You have a private side and a public side, and both sides really could use your support right now. All right, bye for now. I'll catch you next week on 7 p.m. for the live. And if you do want to book a private session with me, you can find that at my website. The link is below. All right, bye for now.